Welcome back to No More Lazy Thinking. This is the place you can come for an opportunity to challenge the way that you're thinking, the decisions that you're making, the processes that you use mentally before you come to a final conclusion. Our intention here is to help you build your mental might. Now, today's topic, it's going to sting just a little bit, because I'm here to tell you today that your emotions aren't enough. Not when it comes to critical thinking. Your emotions are one variable out of many that you want to consider when you're making an evaluation and before you make a decision. Your emotions give you some information, but they're inherently limited. They don't give you all the information. Now, please don't misunderstand. I do not mean to suggest that there's something invalid about your emotions. That's not what I mean at all. Just the opposite. I want you to validate your emotions and to consider them, and then to put them alongside your critical thinking so that you've got the whole picture, not just the emotion piece picture. I think we make this mistake quite often. We allow our emotions to override everything else, and then we find ourselves later in a less emotional place, regretting those decisions that we made or the fact that we didn't dig a little deeper. So this is one reference point, your emotions, among others that you're going to use in your analysis. So what else is there besides your emotions? Well, you could put yourself into the shoes of the other person. What emotions might they be experiencing? And how do their own emotions inform what they have to offer and what they bring to the table, what they are using to offer an alternative point of view, for example? You never want to assume either. See, our emotions, they cause us to make lots of assumptions about other people's motivations or about our rightness or wrongness in the situation. So we've got our emotion. Step 2 is to think we've got to bring something else into the equation. And step 3 is to check ourselves for anything that we might be assuming so that we don't overreact in response to the emotion or to the assumption. With your emotions, to keep them in balance with everything else that will go into your decision, you'll want to ask yourself a few tough questions. Start with this one. Why do I feel the way I feel about this? What's causing me to feel this emotion about this situation? And once you've done that, you can also ask yourself if this emotion is appropriate to the situation. Is this emotion that you're feeling, is it in proportion to the situation? Or is it perhaps magnified because you've been in similar situations, or because you feel threatened in this situation, or because you sense a power imbalance with the other people or variables that are part of this situation? Your emotion needs to inform your decision without overriding it, and so you don't want to give it more weight than is appropriate to the situation. Now, with your emotion, the one that you're going to bring into check and make sure that it's in balance, you also want to make sure that it's useful. Is this emotion that you're feeling going to help you to be effective as you analyze the situation, as you engage with others, as you come to some conclusion? Or is the emotion a distraction? Sometimes it will be useful, sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll have to choose between demonstrating the emotion and keeping it to yourself, keeping it in check. Ultimately, in most situations, we all just want to be effective. That emotion might help you to be effective, or it might keep you from being as effective as you want to be. You have the power to do all of these things I'm describing, to evaluate the emotion and where it comes from, to determine how to use the emotion, to put yourself in the other people's shoes to figure out what their emotions might be, and to balance all of these variables together. One of the reasons to do what I'm describing is that not everybody can hear and process and respond to your emotion. Sometimes they're going to need to know that you are willing to understand their emotion. Sometimes they're going to need to strip emotion out and go strictly with what's logical. And they're going to need you to be able to present in a way that is unemotional. To be effective, you might want to open yourself up to all of those possibilities and make a rational decision about what will serve you best in the moment. Thinking this through will help you be more effective than merely expressing the emotion as it comes out. Okay, enough about that. Keep coming back to this series. Emotion comes into it in many more ways. I just wanted to call out in a separate video all by itself this attention to emotion and the fact that you do have options.